So one of the other questions that I got from like a follow-up to the FAQs, I had a few questions, people saying that I didn't actually speak about the ink that I use. A lot of people do have concerns whether the treatment's going to turn blue or green or odd colors like a real tattoo. First of all, I must say that the inks that we use in this industry are very much different, or they should be different if the person knows what they're doing. I've just had my package delivered today, so I can actually show you fresh out the package. Now, the pigment that I use, the ink that I use, is called Alivio, okay? Now, Alivio Pigment, this is the pamphlet that actually comes in there, okay? And there's some information on there which I'll read out to you in a second. And on the back, it just comes with a chart, okay? So that chart there just kind of gives me a colouring guide. But I'm kind of used to mixing the pigment myself anyway, so I don't really need to use that now. I know how to mix it, okay? But it says here, Alivio is made up of organic pigments, deionized water and Himalayan water. It's free of animal byproducts and it is vegan, okay? It's not been tested on animals, so if that's of a concern to you, you know that as well. And it's supplied in a medical grade bottle. I'm going to show you how it comes. It comes sealed like this, okay? Now there's 15 mils of black pigment that's in there, and how it actually works, you'll probably hear your technician, if they're using this or very similar pigment. This is pretty much, as I said, industry standard, so most technicians are going to be using this now. You'll probably then hear them refer to, right, today I'm going to use color 30, or I'm going to use color 20 or color 15, or whatever the case might be. All that really means is how many parts water to how much parts of the pigment they're actually going to use. So if I say to you on the day, right, your color is going to be a color 30, it means it's 30 parts water to 1 part pigment. The range, the scale in terms of colors that I use ranges from 0 to 60. The lower the number, the darker the color. And that makes sense with the range that I've just explained to you, because the less water that I use, i.e. the lower the number, the more concentrated the ink is, meaning it's going to be more darker. Now, the lower numbers I tend to use on sort of like Afro-American, Afro-Caribbean, you know, black, mixed race sort of guys. As you get towards the mid-range, you start to deal with more Caucasian, maybe a little bit Latin, Spanish, Italian, that sort of skin. Maybe a little bit tan, but it kind of ranges. And then when you go up the scale, like in your 40s, 50s and 60s, then you're talking about someone that's very, very pale. Their hair is not very, very dense, not very dark. They're possibly graying and that sort of stuff as well. But the ink is vegan as well. I'll just go through the other stuff that it mentions on here as well. Sorry, the one thing I forgot to mention, where the ink actually comes from is a company that I've worked with before. It's a company called Brandwood Clinic, okay? Brandwood Clinic developed this pigment. I think they did it over 12 months. They did quite a lot of testing, not testing on animals, as I said, testing on humans to make sure that the pigment was the right pigment for scalp micropigmentation, aka hair tattooing. It's been tested and made sure that it not only gives you the right deposit, it keeps its color, holds in the level of skin that it is, but it doesn't fade as well, okay? It doesn't fade as much and doesn't break down as easily as the other pigments that we've used previously in the industry. Like I said, I've been doing it for 6 years. Not only has the techniques developed, the needles developed, but also the ink is developed as well. And most importantly, this ink does not change color, okay? So what you mix and what you put in the client's skin, it maintains that. I've used this, and I've been using this this particular ink now for about, personally for about 8 months. Yeah, roughly about 8 months. I've had no issues with it, no complaints at all. When I buy this pack, I ordered 3 of them. It's quite expensive ink, but that's not the point. At the end of the day, as a technician, I want to be using the best ink that produces the best results, and you don't really look at price when it comes to certain things. You want something that you know is going to be suitable for your clients. Like I said, I've had no issues with it. It's called Alivio, so if you guys are wondering what I use, it's Alivio ink. It's something that you can actually search on the internet for yourselves, and you can find all the information. It's publicly known. There's no hidden secrets with regards to that. like I said, with the inks now, how they actually make them, there's something called beta carotene, which is basically a powder, and that it comes from a breakdown of plants and vegetables. Okay, so it's all natural. Or you don't, with these inks, they don't add any metals or any chemicals to keep it. It's a breakdown of plants. It's basically a powder, and it's mixed into an ink form, made into an ink form. We then sort of mix that backwards. Once it's been sort of like sterilized and stuff, we mix that backwards with distilled water in the actual clinic, or when I'm actually traveling, I have distilled water with me. I will obviously break that down back into the actual ink that I use. So like I said, whether it's a 30 ink, I use 30 parts water to 1 part ink. I mix it in syringes. I'll show you in an upcoming video basically my setup on my table, so you'll see the ink. I'm going to do sort of like a demonstration of how I mix the ink, so you'll see what I actually do as well. But yeah, this is just literally just a quick video, so you guys know exactly what inks I use, so there's no sort of ambiguity with that. I do not use regular tattoo inks. Those sort of inks, like for these, are not suitable for up on the scalp, because as you know, they can sort of change color over time. The inks that I use on the head do not change color. That's one of the biggest questions that I get, so I hope that's cleared that up for you. If you have any follow-up questions to this video, drop them in the comment section down below. Like this video, guys. If you have a YouTube channel, subscribe. I have lots more videos coming out. Any questions, as always, I'll try and answer them. If you comment under the post, or if it requires a separate video, I will always do that. All right, take care, guys. Have a good day.